What a way to kick off the day. Let's give it up for the incomparable Kishshana Palmer.
Good morning, good morning. Hey, good morning, my friends. First of all, that was not good enough. How many of y'all did not have your coffee and your tea this morning? Because, hello, you didn't have it? Ma'am, sirs, what is going on, okay? I, on the other hand, did, okay? So we're gonna spend about 30 minutes together. Y'all ready? Okay, so you've already gotten your mind right, your intentions are right, you know why you're here, so we're gonna lock in, right? So for those of you I haven't met, I'm Kishshana Palmer. I am the CEO of Management, where we believe that you do not need to burn out people to get to the outcome. And so we offer holistic change management for organizations, including strategic planning, step backs, retreats, you name it. And sometimes we even embed in organizations so that we can help facilitate change management in real time. I am a career fundraiser. I'll say I'm a recovering fundraiser, y'all. Because every time I try to get out, somebody's like, well, can you come over and help me with this? I'm like, it's not even on the website. But I love the work that we do that allows us to be able to knit back together the social safety net in our communities. And that is what our work is all about, whether you're in operations, fundraising, IT, whether you're in program, whether you're out doing business development. The work that we do in our organizations is really to activate, to amplify and accelerate mission so we can put ourselves out of business and go do something else, right? And so I've been able to do that for the last 25 years. Listen, you see how good my skin is? Ooh, and my knees still work. They're not quite Megan knees, okay? For those of y'all who are like, what are Megan knees? Google it right now, Megan knees, okay. But the reality is, for the last 25 years, y'all, I've been running myself ragged. And one of the things that I realized was that I was a super high achiever. Notice I didn't say overachiever. I was a super high achiever. I was running on 6th gear. How many of us know how to drive a manual car? Okay, good. So y'all know y'all just dated yourself, right? Because that's how I learned to drive. All right, it's fine. Y'all are my people though, okay? And so I've spent most of my career in 6th gear. And for me, that is the only gear that I knew how to ride in. In fact, I've been doing it since I was a kid. And so what do you think happened when I became a mama? I'm in 6th gear trying to be super mom. Then I got divorced, y'all, so now I'm super solo mom to the rescue, right? I've got to be everywhere. I've got to do everything. Y'all think I got rid of that super mom stuff? I did not. I have a sophomore at Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. Hallelujah. Get excited because I thought I was going to be an empty nester, y'all, and then I fell in love, and now I have a bonus baby. So, you know, whatever. It's fine. I saw the tunnel, y'all. It was like this. And then the light. I was like, step into the light, Carolyn. But no light. The tunnel has closed for another 10 years. It's fine. It's fine. So what I learned is that many of us are overwhelmed. We are exhausted. And we're tired of saying we're exhausted, but we don't know what to do about that exhaustion. So I sat down and I decided to write out my thoughts. Y'all, it turned into a whole book. And so if you are tired of being overwhelmed and you want to understand how this first-gen American, first in family to go to college, first to own my own business, solo mama who has West Indian parents who are like, when you gonna get a new job? Ma'am, sir, I run my own company. Like, that is the job. If you want to learn how I managed to figure out how to slow down so that I could then accelerate to be able to continue to have impact on everyday leaders just like you, then you've got to pick up my book, which is on pre-sale. Busy is a 4-letter word, the guide to achieving more by doing less. Y'all got it? We there? I expect everybody to get it because I know y'all are exhausted. I see you already, okay? You put the thing under your eyes and the caffeine and the patches and the so forth, and you just trudge on into work. Some of y'all not matching your outfits because you're so tired. Listen, friends, in the book, I'll talk to you about how to wear a uniform that looks fly so that you can make less decisions so that you can focus on yourself. But today is the day that your life changes, and here's why. You will never be in this configuration of awesomeness ever again. So anybody who overslept or who decided they needed to go home last night, sorry for you, because you don't get access to this level of awesomeness. Are y'all with me? So give yourselves a clap for the fact that the genius is in the room. And if you don't believe it, you're going to believe it in about 25 minutes, okay? So today we're going to talk a little bit about how AI can help us have fun in our organizations. Okay, so fun, believe it or not, and joy are one of my company values. So I said I do change management, right? Which means we're going into organizations sometimes to right-size the organization. Sometimes the board has been acting a whole fool, right? Sometimes you got a toxic person in your organization who gets to stay, because they bring in the money. Or you have somebody who's been there so long, they know every skeleton, and they just nasty with it, right? Or there might be somebody who's there just to get a check, but they have the ear of the fill in the blank. And so even when we do hard projects, if there is not joy and fun available to my team, I don't care how much money you want to pay us, we're not coming. Because we're here to have a good time, okay? You can work on hard things and also have fun in your work. And I think that's what's missing for many of us. It has become the toil, the bubble tubble, it's become the oh God, every day, and not the joy that we came in when we slipped and slid into our work. Because how many of us actually looked up one day and said, what the hell? Now listen, the babies are going to school now. They're getting degrees in nonprofit management. I don't know what they're teaching them there. They asked me to come in and lecture. I'm like, what are y'all learning? This is not what happens in real life, friends. But the reality of that is we're starting to have multi-generational conversations, teams, managers who are Gen Xers like me, who came in under boomers, where we learn you get to work before your manager, you leave after you're done. You are excited when you get a project. More bread, please. These babies are coming into the interview, so I would like to talk about advancement. How much PTO do we get? I just want to remind you, I have kickball league on Thursdays. Oh, am I talking trash or am I saying the truth? Woo! Come on. So what does the AI revolution have to do with that? Well, AI, my friends, for those of us who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, is your nonprofit's new BFF. So a couple of years ago, it was about October in 2022. There was this big article that came out about how AI is going to take over and we're going to lose our jobs. And then there was like this 6-month period where every online entrepreneur, every person who writes content was just basically taking stuff from ChatGPT and trying to put it on the internet, right? And so I decided to step back, because I'm a tech nerd, and say, okay, how do I leverage this for my organizations that I work with? How do I help folks to supercharge impact and efficacy and efficiency in the organization? How am I able to use this tool to bring the fun back? So here's what I did. I took every digital document that I have ever had in my career, and I started to upload it into AI, into the AI tool we were using. So that's every spreadsheet, that's every grant I've ever written, that's every operational plan. And then I spent 6 months after work, because I still do, work after work. Okay. Teaching this tool how to think like me. Scary as all get out, okay? But here's what happened. When I had clients who came in to work with me on a VIP day, so that's 4 hours where we get to solve one problem, I can help you write your development and operational plan in 4 hours or less. Holy crap. Which means you don't spend 6 weeks trying to fuss and muss. You're done. And then I teach you how to use it so that you can take your operational plan and then you can turn it into individual development plans for your team. Then I can teach you how to use those individual development plans to help your intergenerational teams understand where they fit and how their growth opportunities are directly aligned to the work that they're doing. Did y'all say, ooh? Oh, shoot. Y'all didn't know it could do that, did you? I made my hips move. I said, ooh, that's nice. Here's what happened to me, y'all, why I got so much joy. I got time back. So now I can help clients move more quickly. I can help you think faster. I can help you use the information that you already have to accelerate, amplify, and activate. Y'all gonna hear those alliterations a couple times. Mission. Because the goal is to tighten the social safety net. That's what we're here for, whether you're bees, trees, children, leaves, it doesn't matter what your mission is, that's what we're trying to do. And so, I don't know about you, but that got me excited. So the reality is, what's the T on AI? Just like any tool that has existed over my 25-year career, typically nonprofit organizations are the last ones to get on board. But we have an opportunity, y'all, to get on the flight now. Hello, get your boarding pass. The expedition is happening. We just heard about it this morning. We are racing against the clock to get the treasure that is revenue for our organizations, that is diversifying the revenue in our organizations, that is helping others to understand that they are co-conspirators and co-pilots, and they are the secondary driver in the work that we have to do. We have the navigational map. They've got gas money and snacks. Now, if you think about your donor investors that way, it sort of changes the paradigm of how we do it. So AI allows us to be able to search faster. So for those of us who may not be able to afford the fancy schmancy research tools that are available to us because your organization is small, guess what AI can help you do? Find people using Us Weekly and other such snazzy tools like tabloids. It can help you get behind trends and understand where the money is coming from, who is driving health tech, fintech, who are driving startups, how are the VCs actually getting access, who works there? Where are the quiet people with new money? Because we're always trying to chase these big people with big names, et cetera. No, I want Joe, who's sitting over in the corner, chilling with his Brooks Brothers shirt on, relaxed with his Cole Haan loafers, but the money is moneying, and that's what I want. I want him to get excited to walk alongside me as we activate, accelerate, and amplify mission, right? And so AI has the opportunity to slay the game that we are in if you understand what your end goal is. So it's not okay to just pick up a tool and just start doing stuff with it. You have to figure out to what end and for what reason. Once you understand what that end is, then you move backwards into how does this fit within my organization? So if you're in operations and you do fundraising operations, so that's data collection, that's ensuring that processes go well, that's the connection with finance, right? To make sure that you're recording and getting over all of the things that are coming in the door. And so instead of you toiling and doing that for 40 plus hours a week, it's not gonna put you out of a job. Let me just be very clear. It's going to simplify your work so that you can focus on operational strategy, operational efficiency, innovation. It gives your brain space to do other things. So if you think about the tool that way, as opposed to something that's going to replace who you are, because computers cannot replace us, not yet, then it allows you to be able to think about, how do I leverage this for my work? So the reality is, I want to bust some myths. I laughed at. My daughter's always sending me stuff on TikTok with a smiley face or a laughing face. One of them was about the fact that I'm always trying to get her off my payroll. How many parents understand this? Like, all my caregivers in the room. These children cost $1 million, billion, zillion, $1 billion. Do they not? When my child went to school last year for the first time, how many of us launched our kids last year? Or in the last year or this year? Okay, I see a few. Any of the mamas in the room, because listen, the daddy's not gonna know this part, belong to dorm mamas on Facebook or dorm moms of Mississippi on Facebook. Y'all, these babies' rooms look like they could be in Architectural Digest, Home and Garden, Southern Living. The amount of headboards and backrests and fancy boards that you have to put in place before so you can get the items. It goes from the PTO competition of who made the best cookies to who does the best prom, homecoming send-off, to who has the best room. The reality is, when she sends me things like, I'm trying to get off my payroll, and then here we are at the cash register, so there's a mom who's at the cash register playing, and her daughter's behind her like this, because the mom keeps trying to get her to stop spending her money. And so I decided to have her write me a business plan for her college career. So her first job was working with me. So at 14 years old, she was an operational intern for the summer and helped me plan a whole conference during the pandemic. So this kid knows what she's doing. So I said, I want you to use AI and I want you to put together your plan for your 4 years. She has her own business. And I want you to tell me how you're planning to study, how you're planning to be invested, and how you're planning to rest. So she went to ChatGPT, or Perplexity AI. I typically use both of those tools interchangeably. And she put in all of her markers. And y'all, she gave me back a draft of a beautiful, unrealistic plan of how she was going to get A's in school. Didn't happen. Child, she almost didn't make it. Lord. So then I told her, well, clearly you and the AI are not talking. Y'all not having the right conversations. Let me see what you put in. So I went back in and said, please include partying from Thursday to Sunday and scrambling to get my work done on Sunday night for class and for ROTC on Monday. And what do you think it did? It spit me back a better plan. So the reality is, whether your organization is eking week to week on making payroll, and I have been there. I've been the chief development officer in organizations where we had to bring in cash every week, $100,000 cash, not commitments, in order for us to stay solvent. Or your organization is chilling and you're just trying to figure out how to diversify your income, leveraging many of the tools online alongside your CRMs, alongside some of the other tools you have, whether you're using Zapier, which is one of those connective tools that has your softwares talking to one another, or you're using something else, you already have at your disposal the opportunity to triplicate, is that the right word? Yes, your team. All right, so let's go to some insights real quick. So for me, it allows me, I use different tools, but one of the tools that I love, I just mentioned Perplexity. The reason that I like it so much is because it reveals the data that is used and the research and reference tools that are used in order to bring up your search. Which means if it went to YouTube, it shows you the videos. If it pulled from research studies, it shows the research studies. And then once you pull up your search query, you can edit it, and then you can go, please give me a citation in CLA format, including all the da-da-da. Then you get every source you've used. Holy moly, right? I know some of y'all feel real excited. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna do it right now. You will. And so it allows you to look at real-time data because it's pulling and then it's cataloging for you that data. So you don't spend hours trying to do that. You spend several minutes, and then you take that, what I would call that straw man, right? Because you're not going to give it to anybody or use it as is. And then you get to refine it, and it gets you thinking. It's a good jumping off part. And so if you use that to predict donor moves, I use pop culture, and I always have as a fundraiser, to be able to help me understand how people are moving in the world. So in 2024, what people really care about are comfort and escape. So I want you to think about what shows up in your social feeds. You see niche foods. I love ramen, y'all. I'm a latchkey kid. I grew up eating ramen, Chef Boyardee. So you see fancy versions of that showing up in your feed right now. You see home chefs times 1,000 showing you how they're cooking. You see niche vacations or escapes or getaways, even if you didn't say anything or look for it in the first place. Why? Because that's what's driving human behavior right now. So if you take that information and then you leverage the tool, then you're gonna wanna say, how do I message our mission to donors so that it reflects the times that we're in right now? Please identify ways that we can message our ability through our mission to address comfort or escape. See what comes up for you, because you have to insert your mission. And then you go back and you refine again. Y'all see how I did that? Now, some of us, like me, who are experiential learners, I have to go actually do it. If you are an auditory learner, you've got it. If you're visual, I don't have it up there, so we're gonna do that later in Q&A. But I want you to make sure you understand that you already have in your hands what you need to be able to, what are my 3 words, y'all? Activate, amplify, and accelerate your organization. Y'all still with me? Got about 10 minutes. Okay. So, like I said, it allows you to enhance communication, right? So that content creation is fire. So if you look at anything that I have posted in the last year, it has my hands on it, but except for a few like really long posts that I wrote on LinkedIn that I started out writing something simple, and then my hands just kept going and going, and then I had this soliloquy. Most of it is AI generated and Kishshana curated. So I don't hide the ball, right? So what that did for me was at a time where it was taking longer for us to close on clients. We were having shifts in how the economy was moving for the kind of work we do. I didn't have the ability to have the contractors I had full time who used to write all the stuff or work alongside me, but we had what? Really good framing. We had years of content that I'd written, years of content that my team had written. So we leveraged that, use our AI tools to be able to spit out the data. So all of those Google Drive documents and things that y'all have used that you're like, damn, it never saw the light of day. Guess what you can use that for? To talk to your audience, to personalize the messaging so people feel like I'm talking to you. One of the things that I learned as a fundraiser was that we are in the business of relationships. That's the real work. And so if you're in the business of relationships, people have to feel like you see them, you hear them, you know them, you understand them. And for me, I had a double, triple challenge because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm a black woman. And so some of my donors could not imagine me as their niece or godchild who worked at their law firm when they were in high school. And so I had to figure out another way to get folks to say, oh, I like her. Oh, we're like her. Because people give to people, right? Who have causes. So you got to feel like, Kishshana knows what she's doing. I liked her. And so learning how to personalize your messaging, learning how to be personable. And my friends, I'm an introvert, okay? I love people and I'm nosy, so that's what, put me into the business. So, and for whatever reason, even when I have on headphones in the airport, people still talk to me. And does that happen to anybody else? You get tapped on the shoulder, and I'm like, ma'am, sir, did you not see me doing like this with my headphones? That means I don't want to talk. No? Okay, fine. So it allows you to be more personable, and it allows you to time your outreach like you're sliding into somebody's DMs. Now, some of y'all are like, sliding into what now? Go into the private messages, PMs, direct messages, DMs. So it allows you to be able to have that type of experience when somebody's like, hey, girl, as opposed to whom it may concern. Y'all see the difference? Right? Okay, so we want to have that personal experience. And as I'm talking, do y'all not feel full and kind of excited, a little jiggly? Your work should be the kind of thing that gives you joy. And the reason it should give you joy is because AI too. If you use Alexa like I do, child, Alexa tells me when to drink, when to go to the bathroom, what time it is for lunch. It tells me it's time to leave the office. It tells me the dog has to get food today. It gives me affirmations 4 times a day. It also tells me it's time to do my prayers. I mean, the number of things that I allow Alexa to do. In the zombie apocalypse, I'm done, so. I'm saying y'all know, I'm gonna go first, just me, because the people know already, okay? So I start my day using an AI tool, right? And it allows me to come into the day happy and focused because I have set it up to remind me that life is for the living and that you get to start your day. You get to decide how you leverage tools in order to be able to be the best and most powerful person you can be. And that shows up at work. So when you're streamlining your operations, they don't have to be boring. When I was a chief development officer for an organization a few years ago, we designed our employee handbook and called it the gift. So in order for it to be the gift, that means it has to be focused on who? Our teams. It's an operational document. It's a policy and procedures document. And yet it read like a love letter to our team. That we valued them, that we saw them, that we understood that they chose to be here, that there is an exchange of money for time. And because of that, here is how we will hold you and make sure that we allow you to be able to grow and to facilitate that so we can get to our goals and exceed them here in this organization. So now you have the opportunity to design that. You can tell a tool, take this operational, this policy HR document, and turn it into something engaging that employees will actually read. Because 70% of us aren't reading nothing. You just get it and you sign it, and it's not until you do something that's a misstep that somebody in HR goes, hey, hello, right? And so it allows you to be able to really facilitate the back end of the organizations. I like to think of operations as the handshake that goes with your smile. So the organization, your mission, that front facing, that's your smile. Operations is that strong handshake. And so you're able to leverage AI so that you have that strong hand. We don't want no limp handshake. Have you ever take somebody's hand and they give this little limp duck handshake? It's terrible. You just want to be like, who are you? All right. So implementing AI best practices. I have about 5 minutes. So you start small, like a startup in a garage, all right? So the challenge that many organizations have is that it feels like a vast, wide ocean. And I want to bring you down to this teaspoon of water right here so that you're able to start with a place where you feel like you can be successful. As fundraisers, our jobs are really about testing and experimentation. So because you're testing a new strategy, you're testing your major gift strategy, you're testing how a tool works, you're always testing, you're testing your mailing programs, right? So we're already in this mode of testing. So start small with a place where you feel pretty shored up, and then see how you can leverage tools to be able to step your game up on that. And then keep it ethical. So one of the things I love about some of the tools I use is that it does that fact checking, right? But we can't leave that in the hands of digital tools. We have to make sure that we have that back check. So once a quarter, we go through all of the materials we've done for clients. We go through all of our case studies and our own work to make sure that we are putting out information that is actually true, that it is research backed, and that it is management flavored, okay? And then stay flexible like you're doing yoga with Adrian. How many of our Peloton folks are here? Y'all already know, listen, I have on my back brace today, y'all, because my back went out, but let me see if I can touch my toes. You have to stay flexible because sometimes stuff is not going to work. Sometimes it's not going to come out right. Sometimes you'll be like, what the heck? And that's okay in our work. The future of AI in fundraising, to me, looks bright if we see it as an opportunity to reflect the wonder of our missions. Many of us have forgotten what it feels like to have that wonder, to have that opportunity to reach, to have that mission-driven search, to be on that quest, to be able to get to the resources necessary, what are my 3 y'all, to activate, amplify, and accelerate our missions. And so I want you all to rediscover the joy in fundraising. Y'all see how I said that word? Come on, joy. Y'all ever notice when you say joy, happy, right? Fun, excitement, passion? You ever notice how all your face muscles do stuff? Your cheeks get red. I still blush, y'all. Hello? Okay. I've seen some life, but I still blush. So you ever notice how that happens, y'all? When you use those kinds of words. So in my development documents, because during the pandemic, I went in-house. I was Chief Development Officer at CIS, Communities and Schools, the national office. So we're home. We have to raise money. Nobody's leaving the house. And so I had to rewrite all of our documentations to reset up our team, to grow our external affairs team. And every document I produced had something in it, jokes and joy. Because I want the documents we use to continue to inspire us to do the work. I want to see the personalities of my team members reflected in the work. There are more than one way to be seen and heard at work. And oftentimes we get so busy with our heads down just trying to deliver on the goals that sometimes we don't even understand, that we forget that there is possibility, that there is power, that there is purpose in our work. So I like to think of AI as like my sidekick, a little bestie, allows me to be able to whisper secrets to and then get back some thoughts and some answers that I can then leverage the talent on my team to be able to go, okay, we got a stomping ground, we're thinking, we're doing. How do we allow ourselves to have fun and joy in our work? So I'm in a group for jury, and the group moderator said, I put into ChatGPT all the information about our group and told it to roast us. I want y'all to try that today. I want you to go into that on your phone, because it should have something on your phone, and I want you to put in your organization's mission in that first paragraph that's on your website, and then tell it to roast you. That's one of the most fun exercises I think I've ever done in my life. It was comedy. The way it was like, oh, so you think that your rock is so big? Oh, look at that. Does it look like it's real? I mean, like it had so much like funny in it that I said, oh, I'm going to use this. This is amazing. Bring levity to the work that you do. Even if the mission is serious, even if the mission is critical, and it should be, even if you feel like this is your life's work, you deserve to have joy in your work. You deserve to have your time back. You deserve to be able to work 4 days a week. You deserve all of those things because you've worked your buns off for it. And I believe that if we leverage AI effectively in our organizations, it is one of the pathways that will lead us back to the joy of our work. All right, y'all, I'm going to be doing Q&A a little bit later, so I want to make sure you come on and say hello. If you have questions, if you have things that you want to know, I'll be doing that in a little while. But I want to thank each and every one of you for the opportunity to be able to give you some of my joy. And I hope you take that joy and you put it in your pocket. And when you're feeling low, that you go, Kishshana said, I'm tired of feeling overwhelmed and busy. So I'm going to take that joy and I'm going to make sure that I inspire myself and my team in my work. I want to thank you all so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.